So welcome to a new video. It's currently Saturday, so hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. Usually on Saturday, price action is absolutely dead, so it's better to enjoy your weekend on a Saturday, especially instead of watching the charts. But since we are in a pretty interesting spot overall, I want to make a video. What happened this week and what to look for next week. So quickly, we are still in this range with our range low, range high right there. And then early this week, let me clean that up. Early this week, we saw a very strong move higher. Let's clear the weekly view up as well. A really strong move higher above the range with the high made on Wednesday, and here we retested the range high, made a new high into 98k supply zone, and since then price has been cooling off a bit, where we basically have this local downtrend that is currently stalling around here. And the reaction here is pretty important because this is the former range high zone, basically this whole zone right here. This is the former range high, and normally if you have a long range like we had here, which started at 21st of November, then if you get a breakout, you want to see the breakout, and then you can get a retest, but then you have to continue higher, because if you fall back too deep, then you have acceptance back in your range, and that signals that buyers don't have the strength to get a true breakout of the range, in which you can get a full-on range rotation, because in that case this is your range deviation, and technical targets of a range deviation are usually the mid-range right there, and then later the range low. And then another thing that adds importance to that potential deviation idea is that price has been creating a massive sell side liquidity. So a lot of stops are being generated right there, all the way till the range lows. So for the market makers, there is clearly a reason to bring price back down from a liquidity perspective. So for tomorrow, Sunday is often a day with quite a lot of manipulation. So today, tomorrow, and next week, it's going to be important what price does about around these levels. So we can look what is the value area high of this full range. You can see currently the value area high is around 93k. So if you look at your main structure pool, you can say this is your high, this is your higher low, this is your higher high, higher low, higher high. So basically anything in here can just be a higher low for a higher high. However, you have a bit of conflicting ideas there, because this can be the higher low for a higher high, but giving that higher low, for example here 92, gives you a acceptance back in your old range, in which this potential PO3, bearish PO3 idea is on the table. So in my opinion, we should not get a too deep of a pullback back in the old range, and if it does, it has to be like a very quick buyback. And then for the bullish case, I want to see the low of the week be formed early, because we know like 83% of the weeks or something form their weekly high or low on Monday or Tuesday. So if we have a bullish week, then what I would like to see is to get a shallow dip in here on Monday or Tuesday, but preferably on Monday, form the weekly low early in the week, accept back above the range, and then we can target last week's high and look what happens in this massive supply zone, which would also make the time spent above the range more in relationship to how big of a range we have. Because currently, if this was enough already to create a deviation and trap enough buyers, then it's pretty short in the time span. So the most healthy way would be to spend more time if it's going to turn into a PO3, because it can also just form a higher low here and then push higher into, like if we flip above 98, then I believe we can target the 110k zone again. So next week is going to be very important, do we flip back in the range, and how does price behave in the range? Will it be a quick move down, potentially early week low, then a reclaim of the range? Or do we spend more time in it and then potentially have a deviation in play? Or can price manage to break above the deviation threshold right there, look for back tests, and then continue higher towards 110k? That will be pretty important. Right now, price is holding the range highs. We have basically prices kept between previous daily high, previous daily low. Locally, I have my eyes on this, what is it? Hourly wick supply and 50-minute OBIM. That price left behind at the range lows yesterday. So a move into here, which structure would be a long for me, because this is an inflection point. You don't want to lose this if you are truly bullish. And another level I'm keeping a close eye on is this supply right here, where I'm interested in potential shorts. If we, for example, get a spike up on Sunday and then break structure back to bearish, then this could potentially be the high before we break back in the range. So that are locally the main areas I'm watching, which would also be in line with the fractal of 2022, which I talked about earlier, where we had a similar range with a naked low, sell-side liquidity creation, a move above the range, and that one accepted back in the range, in the value area high. As you can see right here, price came above the range, came back in it, retested value area high after losing it, full on rotation back to the range lows. And then if we zoom in, let me see, to this, how did the deviation look? You can see that a bit similar to what we currently have is that price had demand, push up, retested demand, came back up, and from there we sold off, which is a bit similar to that. If this local fractal is going to play out, that this was the high, you retest back in the range, come back for this local range POC before selling off. Because here you can see what happens. You form like kind of a model 2 distribution with your 1, 2, 3, and then bam, full on range rotation back to the range lows and further below. And if we look at current, that I have to put it back on, yes. If we look at the current price, then if that fractal is going to play out a bit similar, then this could be that move above. This is the test of the range high demand. Then this could be the move to retest your POC or like the less supply in your local range before a sell-off. So if we get distribution locally here, then I'm definitely interested in shorts. Otherwise, not getting bearish here at the lows. So shorts here locally, longs here. And if we move back in here, look what price does. Either a quick move and then look for longs, or if we stay long below it, then potential shorts on the backtest. So a lot of different outcomes, but I think we have great trading conditions. So yeah, looking forward to next week, and let's see what we get. For now, happy weekend everyone, and thanks for watching.